The dense canopy sways gently as dawn breaks over Gabon's Mukalaba-Dudu National Park. Mist coils between towering trees, hiding creatures that stir in the undergrowth. Boots crunch softly on damp earth as the research team moves cautiously through the jungle. At the front, Dr. Elena Moore raises her hand, signaling a brief stop. She scans the foliage with practiced eyes, her voice a hushed whisper. "Fresh tracks," she says. "They're close." Behind her, Assistant Mark adjusts his heavy camera rig while swatting away a persistent cloud of insects. "Let's hope today's the day," he mutters, wiping sweat from his brow. Joseph, their local guide, steps forward quietly, his machete clearing small vines as they advance. We follow the signs. They don't move far at night. For days, the team has tracked the elusive guerrilla troop through thick jungle, hoping to document rarely seen foraging behaviors. This is Elena's third expedition to Gabon, but never has the troop stayed this close for so long. The sound of distant grunts and low rumbles stops them in their tracks. "There," Joseph points, voice low. Through a break in the foliage, they finally spot them. A tight-knit group of western lowland gorillas resting near a clearing. In the center, towering above the others, sits the dominant silverback, Bakari. His broad chest rises and falls rhythmically, his massive frame relaxed but vigilant. Elena's breath catches. "Beautiful," she whispers, raising her binoculars. Mark steadies the camera, capturing high-definition footage as the group moves slowly between patches of vegetation. Young juveniles wrestle playfully nearby while mothers groom their infants. But then something catches Elena's attention. Bakari and several others approach a cluster of low shrubs, pulling long, bitter-smelling leaves from the branches. The researchers watch in surprise as the gorillas chew the leaves carefully, their faces contorting slightly at the taste. Mark lowers his camera briefly. "Those don't look edible," he says. "They're not part of their normal diet," Elena adds, narrowing her eyes. "That's odd." Joseph leans closer, whispering, "That plant is bitter. Hunters avoid it. Animals rarely touch it." Intrigued, Elena scribbles notes furiously, documenting every movement. She films Bakari chewing slowly, pausing between mouthfuls. The troop continues feeding for nearly 30 minutes before retreating deeper into the jungle. Mark breaks the silence. "Any idea what that was about?" "Not yet," Elena replies, her voice filled with cautious excitement. "But if we're seeing a dietary shift, it could mean something important. A response to illness, nutritional need, self-medication." Joseph nods but keeps his tone guarded. The forest has many secrets. Animals know things we do not. As the sun dips behind thick clouds, the team sets up camp nearby, eager to review their footage. Unbeknownst to them, today's strange observation is only the beginning. In the heart of this untouched wilderness, a mystery is unfolding, one that will soon force them to confront the delicate balance between science, nature, and survival. Night falls heavy over the jungle. Inside the flickering glow of their small camp, the team gathers around the portable monitor. The recorded footage plays back silently, showing Bakari and his troop feeding on the bitter leaves earlier that afternoon. Elena leans forward, eyes narrowed. "Slow it down." Mark rewinds the footage, zooming in on Bakari. The silverback's movements appear sluggish. His usually fluid gestures seem labored. Subtle tremors ripple through his massive arms as he reaches for the leaves. "See that?" Mark says quietly. "He's not himself." Joseph watches closely, arms folded. He coughs too, 3 times. Elena nods, her brow furrowed. He's sick, but eating those leaves anyway, and not just nibbling, consuming them purposefully. Mark glances up. Could he be poisoned? A parasite? Joseph speaks softly. "Some animals know how to heal themselves. The elders say they find the medicine of the forest." Elena's mind races. She's heard similar folklore, stories of animals guided by instinct toward healing plants. But to witness such behavior firsthand? If we're witnessing self-medication, she whispers, this could be groundbreaking. Lightning flashes across the distant horizon, followed by the low rumble of approaching thunder. Luis, the camp's logistics coordinator, steps into the tent, his face tense. Storm's moving in fast. We may need to secure everything. Rain begins to fall, light at first, then heavy, pounding against the canvas with violent rhythm. Within an hour, the camp transforms into organized chaos. Tents buckle under wind gusts. Water pools at their feet. Supplies are rushed under makeshift tarps as rivers of muddy runoff streak between their boots. "Careful with the equipment," Mark shouts, pulling heavy camera cases to higher ground. As the rain intensifies, a loud crack splits the night. A massive branch snaps overhead, crashing dangerously close to the main tent. "Everyone stay inside," Elena orders, voice firm despite the building tension. Joseph peers out from beneath the tarp, watching the forest sway violently under the storm's force. "The jungle doesn't want us here tonight," he murmurs. By morning, the storm begins to ease but leaves behind a battered camp. Several crates of supplies have been lost to flooding. The path back to base is now blocked by swollen streams. Elena scans the muddy devastation with growing unease. We're trapped until this water drops. Inside the tent, Mark sits on his cot, shivering slightly, wiping sweat from his forehead. "I feel off," he mutters. Elena moves quickly to his side. His skin is flushed, and beads of sweat cling to his hairline. Joseph watches silently as Mark tries to steady his breathing. "What's wrong?" Elena asks, her voice tightening. Before Mark can respond, a sharp gasp escapes his lips as his hand clutches his leg. Joseph kneels beside him, lifting the fabric to reveal a pair of fresh puncture wounds. "Snake," he says grimly, "during the storm." Elena's face drains of color. The nearest anti-venom is hours away, their communication systems unreliable after the storm's damage. Mark's breathing grows shallow, his pulse weakens. As panic tightens around them, Joseph's voice breaks the rising fear. "There may be another way," he says softly. "We've seen the guerrillas. They may know what he needs." The morning air is thick with humidity, the jungle eerily still after the storm's violent departure. Inside the flooded camp, Mark lies pale and motionless on a makeshift cot. His breathing is shallow, each exhale weaker than the last. Sweat beads on his forehead, his pulse flickering beneath his skin. Elena kneels beside him, wiping his face with a damp cloth. "Stay with us, Mark," she whispers, fighting to keep her voice steady. Joseph watches silently, standing near the tent entrance, eyes fixed on the dense green wall of trees. We're losing time. Luis works frantically at the satellite radio, twisting dials, trying to re-establish contact. Static crackles through the speaker, offering no response. "No signal," Luis mutters, slamming his fist against the equipment. The storm knocked out the transmitter. Elena glances back at Joseph. "The anti-venom. How far?" Joseph's voice is calm but grim. "At least 6 hours, maybe more if the rivers haven't receded." Mark winces, his body trembling as the venom spreads. His leg begins to swell, angry red lines snaking up his thigh. "His breathing's slowing," Elena says, her voice cracking. "We don't have 6 hours." Silence hangs heavy over the tent until Joseph speaks again, his voice deliberate. "You saw Bakari yesterday. You saw what he ate, those leaves." He pauses. "The elders believe animals know which plants heal." Elena looks up sharply. "You think the same plants could work on him?" Joseph nods. "It may slow the venom. Long enough for help to arrive." Luis interjects nervously. "We don't even know if it's safe for humans." "We also don't know if he'll survive without it," Elena counters, her gaze locked on Mark's labored breathing. The unspoken truth fills the air. They are out of options. Elena stands, pulling on her gear. "Show me!" Without hesitation, Joseph leads the way into the jungle. The ground squelches beneath their boots as they push deeper into the forest, following faint tracks left by Bakari's troop. Hours pass under the oppressive canopy. Every sound feels amplified. The distant call of monkeys, the rustle of leaves, the distant rush of muddy rivers, swollen from the storm. Finally, Joseph halts, raising a hand. Ahead, the guerrilla troop emerges through a break in the foliage. Bakari stands at the center, once again pulling the familiar bitter leaves from the low shrubs. His movements are slower but deliberate as he chews the fibrous stalks. "There," Joseph whispers. "This is what they use." Carefully, they collect the broad leaves, sealing them into sterilized bags. Every movement is deliberate. One mistake could mean further danger. As the troop retreats into the jungle, Elena looks at Bakari one last time. The silverback glances toward them briefly, calm, steady, as though understanding the fragile connection unfolding between them. Back at camp, Luis has already prepared a rudimentary mixture based on Joseph's guidance. The crushed leaves release a pungent, acrid scent. "This is all we've got," Luis says anxiously. Elena nods, lowering the mixture into Mark's mouth in careful drops. The team huddles around him, silent, waiting. The jungle offers no promises, only time. And now they wait to see if nature's secret will save him. The jungle is silent. Inside the sweltering tent, the team watches Mark's still frame with unblinking eyes. His chest rises faintly, uneven. The crude plant mixture drips slowly between his lips. Every breath feels like a countdown. "Any change?" Luis whispers. Elena shakes her head, her voice tight. "Not yet." Joseph kneels beside the cot, hands clasped. "The plant needs time," he says softly. "That's all we can give him now." The wind rustles the soaked canvas. Outside, insects buzz lazily while the distant call of hornbills echoes through the heavy air. The jungle watches, indifferent. Hours crawl by. Mark's skin grows paler, his sweat dampening the thin blanket beneath him. His heartbeat flickers erratically on the portable monitor. Luis watches the numbers drop. "We're running out of time," he says, voice cracking. Joseph's jaw tightens. The venom fights fast, but nature fights too. Elena grips Mark's hand, her eyes glassy but fierce. "Come on, Mark, stay with us." The weight of their gamble presses hard. They are deep in uncharted territory, placing human life in the hands of instinctive knowledge passed between animals for generations. A knowledge no textbook or trial study could replicate. Outside the tent, the distant roar of an approaching helicopter breaks the tense silence. Luis bolts upright. "The rescue team!" The sound grows louder, blades slicing through the jungle canopy. Relief and dread mix. Help is almost here, but is it already too late? Joseph steps outside, signaling frantically with a bright tarp as the helicopter circles and begins to descend toward the small clearing. Inside the tent, Elena leans in closer to Mark. His breathing suddenly changes, deeper, steady. Luis stares at the monitor. The pulse stabilizes. Oxygen levels rise. He's coming back," Luis whispers in disbelief. Mark's eyelids flutter slightly, a hoarse breath escaping his lips. "Mark?" Elena calls softly, leaning closer. A faint nod. His eyes crack open, unfocused but alive. Relief crashes over the team like a tidal wave. "He's stabilizing!" Marcus calls out as the medics rush into the tent, securing IV lines and preparing the anti-venom. The rescue team works quickly, administering proper treatment as they prepare Mark for airlift. Outside, as the helicopter blades slice the sky, Joseph stands quietly, his eyes on the jungle. The forest offered no promises, but gave them a chance. As the helicopter lifts into the air, carrying Mark to advance care, Elena turns to Joseph, emotion catching in her throat. You were right. They knew. Joseph simply nods, glancing once toward the thick green where Bakari's troop still moves unseen. The jungle remains vast, mysterious, and full of knowledge humans are only beginning to understand. Weeks later, the footage plays on screens far larger than the ones in their jungle camp. Inside an auditorium in Geneva, Elena stands at a podium, the polished wooden surface beneath her hands grounding her as she speaks. Documented behavior that suggests wild gorillas may actively self-medicate, she explains, her voice calm but filled with wonder. Bakari's troop showed us what textbooks could not. On the large screen behind her, the video rolls, Bakari chewing methodically on the bitter leaves, his massive frame calm and purposeful. Gasps ripple through the audience, scientists, conservationists, pharmaceutical researchers, as they watch the undeniable evidence unfold. Elena pauses, letting the weight of it settle. They led us to a compound with properties we're only beginning to understand. They led us to a cure. The footage shifts to images of Mark, recovering, smiling weakly from a hospital bed. The crude forest remedy, inspired by Bakari's instincts, bought him the hours he needed to survive. Outside the conference halls, headlines flood news outlets around the world. Wild gorillas lead scientists to new natural medicines. Jungle instincts, how gorillas may hold the key to future treatments. Grants and research funds pour into conservation programs focused on studying animal medicinal behavior. Pharmaceutical companies express new interest in preserving wild habitats, recognizing them as living libraries of untapped knowledge. Elena, back at Green Haven, stands with Joseph at the edge of the forest. A light mist clings to the canopy. Somewhere in the distance, the faint, familiar grunt of a silverback echoes. They were always the teachers, Joseph says quietly. We just had to listen. Bakari's troop remains protected, their range now under heightened conservation status thanks to the global attention. Researchers tread carefully, learning to observe without interfering, respecting the delicate wisdom carried through generations of wild instinct. For Elena, the discovery changes everything. It's not just a scientific breakthrough, it's a humbling reminder. Nature has answers, but only if humans are wise enough to pay attention. She watches the forest sway in the soft wind, feeling the immensity of it all. Bakari's legacy isn't just survival, it's revelation. At the research center, Mark, fully recovered, reviews new footage with Luis, planning further studies. But their work now carries a different weight, one born not of conquest, but of respect. In the months to come, new papers are published, new research is launched, conservation gains new allies, and ancient forests gain a sliver more protection. All because one silverback, deep in an untouched jungle, trusted his instincts, and in doing so, rewrote the boundaries of what humanity thought it knew. In the heart of Gabon's jungles, a silverback's simple choice revealed something far greater, the ancient wisdom woven into nature itself. What began as a simple observation turned into a discovery that may one day save countless lives. Bakari's story reminds us that even the most advanced science still has much to learn from the wild. If this story inspired you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more true animal stories, and share it with others. Together, we can honor the untold knowledge hidden deep within nature and the incredible creatures who hold it.